I feel like Cinderella, only in this case my fairy godmother is the Royal Mail and I'm not sure she's going to turn up on time in order to get me to this ball. Hi, I'm Amelia and welcome to my channel Sew Amelia, where I talk all about sewing a handmade wardrobe for me and my children. And this week I'm sharing a few snippets from my sewing room this week. I've been really inspired by some videos that I've been seeing, particularly by Sally, whose Secret Life of a Seamstress, and so I just thought I would share a chatty catch-up vlog with you this week all about the goings-on in my sewing room. So before we get on to the drama that unfolded in my sewing room this week, I'll share with you what I'm wearing, and it is the Atlas top by Stitch Witch Patterns. I received this beautiful cotton lawn, it's a Lady McElroy cotton lawn, from Sew Me Sunshine in return for a blog. Now you'll have to stay tuned for that because it's not coming out until August, but I had some of this left over and I could not bear to see it go to waste. It is such a beautiful floral cotton lawn, and so I thought, I wonder if I can turn it into a top. So I went on the hunt for some tops that don't use very much fabric, and I came across this one and I love it. Now the only tricky thing is the shape of the pieces. The bodice front is fine, and as you can see I made the cropped version. So there is a longer length version, but I knew I didn't have enough fabric for that, and the crop length just falls low enough for me to be able to wear it with my high-waisted skirts. That's perfect. But the back is where it gets really interesting, and I'll turn around so you can see. So those two pieces are cut out in a really interesting shape, and it's really quite tricky to squeeze them out of remnants. I have been seeing so many gorgeous sets popping up on Instagram. I thought, how fun would it be to turn this into a little set? So I found some leftover cotton twill that I had used to make a Brumby skirt previously, and it was the perfect colour to match with the navy background of this top. So I took some of that fabric, I took some of this fabric and squeezed out an Atlas top. I actually used this floral lawn to line these back straps. Let's see if you can see. There we go. And I did have to piece that together for one of the straps, so there is a seam on the inside, but you won't see it really ever, so that's fine. I'm just really glad I got to use up all of this beautiful fabric and make an Atlas top, and I loved it so much that I had to whip up another one. I found this quite a sanity-saving top this week, came together really quickly. I love the style of it. It's been perfect in the heat as well. So here's the other version I made. It's in this gorgeous Irish linen that I bought from Susie at Thread Quarters, and again I had very little scraps of this one left over. I managed to get the front and again the two crossover straps at the back, and then I used some of this beautiful cotton poplin from a Sew Hayley Jane box. It's actually got the azure sort of blue colour there in the poplin, so that's what I chose to line it with, and also it's finished with a facing on the front and I used the cotton poplin there as well. So again, this goes with this navy skirt as well or it can go with some little jean shorts. Speaking of which, I don't really have any shorts, and that's another story in and of itself. So I did make some shorts last year. I made the Megan Nielsen Flint shorts. Now I love that pattern, but the shorts are actually too big now, and I did lengthen them, but I think I lengthened them too much. So a combination of them being a little bit long and a little bit big means I really just haven't worn them as much as I would like to. So in this heat, I really just need a few more things that I can put on and not feel like I'm going to melt into a puddle. Now I did have a pair of jeans in my wardrobe that I was not wearing. They're such an oversized baggy fit that for me, I don't think they are particularly flattering, so I haven't been reaching for them. So I decided to chop the legs off. Here are the pant bottoms. If anyone's got any ideas for what to do with two jean pant bottoms, I would love to hear them. So I chopped them off and I was left with a pair of shorts. I'll pop in a photo so you can see them. I simply hacked the shorts off here, and then just to give myself a little bit more wiggle room around the thigh, I seam ripped this seam here. Fortunately, it was a pretty easy seam to unpick. And then using some gold sort of coloured thread to match the top stitching, I sewed up and around that seam. And then I've just left the bottoms to kind of fray naturally, and yesterday I wore those and they were fantastic. Very light and airy and easy to wear. Again, they will go with my Atlas tops, and they are high-waisted, or they were high-waisted jeans, they're now high-waisted shorts. And I paired them yesterday with my Ogden cami, which was super cool in the heat. So that's how my sewing week started, with two lovely Atlas tops and hacking literally a pair of jeans into a pair of jean shorts, which was a great start to the week. Now, the other great thing that happened at the beginning of my week was that I had a pattern arrive from Fabulosew. I love using Fabulosew for printing. They are always, as the name suggests, fabulous. The service is quick, and also they're just so lovely. I'll talk about which pattern I had printed in a minute, but I asked for the booklet to be printed as well, and when it came, I mean, it's tiny. Super, super small and quite difficult to read. Obviously, they must have realized this when they looked back at the printing, because they also included at no extra charge a full printed copy of the pattern, with each page printed on A4 rather than like 2 pages on one A4 sheet, which I just thought was so thoughtful and kind of them, and will make reading the pattern an awful lot easier for me. So thank you so much, Fabulosew. I always love their service. I'm not affiliated with them at all. I love just giving companies a shout out when I have found their service to be particularly good. Now, the pattern that I had printed was one that a lovely follower shared with me after I shared the fabrics for my daughter's dress. I have gone with this option, just by the way. I couldn't resist this colour of the chiffon, and against this silk as well. It's probably going to be an absolute nightmare to sew, but I'm still so excited to do it and really looking forward to the project. Anyway, back to the pattern. A lovely, lovely, lovely follower sent me a message on Instagram and said, I think I found the original pattern. And she sent me a link to a website, and she was so right. It is the original pattern that my grandmother used for my mother's dress. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go and check out this video when I talk about my plans for my sewing in July, because I share a lot about a passion project really that I'm doing for my daughter's birthday dress. So here's the pattern. It's perfect. It's got the sash, it's got the design lines at the back with the button placket that just extends into the gathered skirt, everything. Now, the only thing I think I will need to alter is the length of the dress. These vintage dresses were always really, really short, and I would like my daughter to get a good couple of years out of this dress, especially if I'm making it in chiffon, which I've never sewn with before and is scaring me a lot. I think what I will do is, looking at the size charts, she is turning 3 and she fits into the size 3 on the size charts. So I'm just deciding between whether I make a size 3 or whether I size up to a 4 and just pull it in with that belt, which is what I usually do. I'm veering towards sewing up a size 4 so she can wear it for a couple of years, and I'll just make a deeper hem. But I think I will add a little bit of length. I've given myself a little bit extra of the chiffon, so at the very least I can make that part of the dress longer. Now, this dress isn't lined, and it does have a petticoat, but it isn't lined. Now, obviously with that sheer chiffon, I need to do something underneath it. My grandmother's dress that she made had a very simple sort of dress underneath it, made from like a silk satin, and then the chiffon layer over the top. So I'm thinking I'll probably do something similar. Although I was wondering about whether or not I could hand baste the silk satin to the chiffon, sort of make it like an interlining and sew it all in one. But because of the gathering in the skirt, I think that will just make it look too bulky. So I think rather I'll go for a dress in that silk satin underneath, and then make that dress from the chiffon. So there we go. I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into that project now that I have the perfect pattern. Now, she's lurking over there, so I guess I better talk about her because she's kind of the elephant in the room, although I probably shouldn't say that. You will know if you've watched a few of my videos that I am planning on going to the new Craft House summer party on Saturday, and the theme for that is peace and love. So I was trying to sew a dress in a sort of 70s style, but one that I would wear again. Now, I decided to go with a gorgeous Laura Ashley vintage pattern that is from the 1970s, and I found this pink and orange polycotton on the internet, on eBay actually. And so, as you do, I carefully read the pattern, I ordered what I thought was the right amount of fabric. I think I ordered like 5 or 6 meters of fabric, but this dress is not fabric hungry, it is fabric hungry. Like, I eked this thing out. I used the selvage edges, I cut on the cross grain, I did everything I could. But because the front of this dress wraps over, and it is a gorgeous full wrap, like there's no chance of exposing anything in this dress, which is wonderful. But because of that, I don't have enough fabric. So here she is. I mean, when I tried it on, I wasn't sure whether it might look like pajamas as well. Like, does it have a My Granny's nightie vibe to it? I just don't know. I mean, I love the style of it. I love the pattern. I really, really love the way this elastic goes in. It's really, really interesting, and the way that it's put together has been a fascinating process. I really like it, but I just don't know. When you tie it with this bow at the front, it does gather it all in and it looks really pretty, but until you do that, it's definitely got nightdress vibes. Then it's got a square back. Now, the good thing about this dress is you can wear it either way. Because of the design of this dress, it has got certainly extra room in the front here, oh dear, should you need it, if you decide to wear it that way around. But I think when I tried it on, it definitely looked better with the cross going across my front. So that is the way I would like to wear it. And I cut the fabric short enough to make it with the ruffles. There are 6 ruffle pieces, and I got 3 of the 6 ruffle pieces out. So that's where we're at. I have a dress, it finishes at the knee, but I will have to straighten out the skirt because of this wrap at the front. The hem is exceptionally uneven, so I really need the ruffle to be on so that I can even out the hem once I'm wearing it, work out how it sits on me, work out where I'm going to cut the hem it. And I think the thing with this is it either needs to be a mini dress or it needs to be a long ruffly dress. I don't think there's any middle ground on this one. You know me, I love a ruffle. I'm committed to this ruffle. So I have some options. Option number 1 is I have a look at the length of the 3 ruffle pieces that I do have and see if there'll be enough gathering in those to make a ruffle. I suspect not, because it's a wrap dress. There's a lot of hem to ruffle. So I do think I'm going to need at least 1 more ruffle piece, and there isn't any more fabric. Now, I have found some more on eBay, but as of today, when I'm recording this, and that's on Wednesday, it hasn't arrived. So I've got 2 more days, maybe 3 if I get some sewing time on Saturday, to get this thing finished. And we've had 2 days of a heat wave, so no postman has been coming. The post has been delayed. I just don't have any faith that my fabric's going to arrive in time. If it does, amazing. In the meantime, I'm sitting here worried I don't have a dress. So I guess option number 1 is to use the ruffle pieces that I have. Option number 2 is to wait and hope that the parcel gets here in time with my fabric. Option number 3 is to try and find this, perhaps the deep pink of the edge of the flowers, or the orange. I don't have any of those colours in my fabric stash. I don't tend to keep a huge stash, but I could go to the sewing haberdashery shop up the road and hope they have a plain cotton that might match those colours, and then I could make a plain ruffle. But there's just something in me that doesn't want to do that. She's in the naughty corner. I just don't know what to do with her. The other thing I wondered, option number 4, which is probably not an option, is to just try and make another dress with fabric that I do have in my stash, but it wouldn't be particularly 70s, and that just doesn't feel right. I feel like I've committed to this now, and I need to see it through in some way or other. I'm just going to pop it back over there because I just have to wait and see, I guess. Hoping the fabric shows up. I don't think this time, not with my children on summer holidays, to sew up another dress. So I guess we'll just wait and see. Now, to end on a slightly more positive note, I will briefly mention where I'm up to with my knitting. Now, I did mention this project probably over a year ago now. For some reason over the winter I just couldn't get my head around my knitting, and it sort of sat unloved in my knitting bag for the longest time, but I am getting back into it. Now the summer holidays are here, oddly I'm wanting to knit, which seems a bit bizarre in this heat. However, it's quite easy to take out to the garden when the children are playing in the paddling pool and running around, and just to sit there and knit a few rows whilst they play. So that's what I've been doing, and I've actually made some really good progress. It is the We Are Knitters Bombshell Bomber, and it's got these really cute daisies as a feature along the bottom of the cardigan and along the cuff of each sleeve. Here's what I've done so far. It's just hard to see. I'll put it on because in this heat, who doesn't want to wear a cardigan? So it is a cropped cardigan. As you can see, I've got to go around yet and finish off the edges obviously, but that's where it will sit, which I think will look super cute over jeans or over my high-waisted skirts. And I am up here on the sleeve, so I've got another 2 or 3 rows to do here, and then I'll do the cuff. Now it's looking a little short, so I may add a few extra rows here before I start on the cuff, as I just would like it to be a thicker full-length sleeve. So that's where I'm at now, and I've done both sides, those are ready to go, and I just have to do this other sleeve and the band. We are heading off on holiday, and I will take this with me. I always like to travel with some sort of project in hand just to keep me busy in the evenings. I don't do very well with sitting still, So I will take my knitting with me, and hopefully I'll get that finished in the next month or so. At least by the end of the summer, I hope. Just in time for the autumn weather to hit. So I hope you've enjoyed this more chatty catch-up sort of sewing video this week, including this saga over here. If you want to hear how it all ends, do come and follow me on Instagram, as I will try and share a photo on Saturday when I'm on my way and let you know what I did end up wearing. I'm so hoping this fabric arrives in time. I'd really love to wear this dress. I think it would be so cute. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, do leave it a like, and if you haven't, do subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you'll be made aware of when I publish future videos. I would love to have you as a subscriber, so do hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Well, I hope you have great adventures in your sewing room this week, and I really hope that you don't run out of fabric in your sewing room. So until next week, have a lovely week full of very happy, peaceful, serene sewing, and I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye!